Welcome to Shelby Boy Magic!
Why are those buttons so sticky, Cody?
Special me time!
Don't act like I made them sticky. They've been sticky the whole time we own this board.
Yeah, and that board has been over here the whole time.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know,
exactly.
man. I don't know, man. My hands are
Exactly.
clammy and they're sticky. I don't know. I don't know what to tell
When
you.
you're watching
Don't,
your...
don't ask him what he's doing in here when you're
Oh,
not
he's
in
watching silent,
yeah.
non-talky porn, and now the buttons are all sticky.
I forgot all about that. Growing up, when I lived with my father, I did not watch porn with the sound on, so I've just grown accustomed to not having sound with porn.
here. Nice.
Serial killer.
You've known me long enough. I couldn't get away with serial killing.
That is a little bit of a vibe there.
I don't know. There's something wrong with you.
I mean, yeah, that's for sure. I mean,
Yeah.
his diet knows probably, but no. Like,
So when you guys are having, adult time, and she starts to say something, and you smack the shit out of her, shut up,
I'm just
woman!
like, bam. She's like, quiet! Quiet time. Yeah. And other people have asked me since we talked about that on an episode, like, do you really watch porn without the sound on? I'm like, not all the time, but like, yeah.
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 Just the sound of Rex humping the pillow in the corner.
I go to another room.
You're like, yeah, buddy, I know.
He fucks up my metronome, my internal one all the time. Shelby's like, this is not how I wanted my episode to start.
Yeah. I watch mine with the porn, with the sound as loud as possible to irritate the neighbors.
Yeah.
So-
They're over there just like, God damn it. 8 times a day.
Yeah.
Really? 8
Yeah.
times? Yeah. You're just
Yeah.
like, nope. I just keep putting it on a loop.
Is he killing a small Vietnamese woman in there?
Oh no! Mr. Cody, look away! All right, today's episode, we have a pretty cool guest, repeat visitor. This is Mr. Shelby Combs, and we have you on for a specific reason.
Shelby comes.
Shelby Combs. Fuck, goddamn. I'm going to try not to accidentally call you Bryan at the end of the episode like I did last time.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck! Anyway. So we're having you on to talk about some specific stuff. So what is the specific stuff that we're talking about today?
Well, with the shop, we got OKC Chop Shop over off of 5th and Penn. We're going to be throwing a little gathering this Saturday at about 5 o'clock, do some burgers and dogs, and
Yeah.
kind of just get everybody together, see who wants to come out and
Chop it up at the chop shop.
yeah,
Chopping it up. Chop, 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 chop.
bring all your winter projects out and show them off. So
Are we going to have any fun homeless games?
there is potential for that.
I mean,
There
we could have the homeless Olympics.
There is potential for that. They are all over the place. I know. We've already talked about drag racing mini bikes in the back alley. So
Yeah.
that's probably going to
Yes.
happen.
There was talk of burnouts in the back alley.
Yeah.
And all the planning that we've talked about, I've never once at all thought about the homeless Olympics.
Yeah.
Oh,
That
and
was my downfall.
for
my
everybody
bad.
listening, Nate, fuck you, Nate.
Fuck you,
We'll be
Nate.
working the glory hole, so there will be that.
I don't think we can do bum fights anymore, can we?
I mean, it's
We can.
2024,
Yeah, why not?
2025. Yeah, I don't know.
I think it's been
Long enough.
Been long enough.
Been long
Yeah,
enough.
I think
yeah.
you have to, it's going to be harder to find Thunderbird liquor.
Yeah.
I don't know where you can get it at.
We could make that happen.
But I guarantee
George's Liquor down there, they carry some
I feel like there's another liquor store
or
that's
Byron's.
Byron's.
Yeah.
Byron's.
I bet they'll have Thunderbird.
But
You know what? We can just get some Mad Dog 2020. It's making a comeback.
It is.
Yeah.
unfortunately, that was horrible.
It was. The only good way to drink that was
There was no good way to drink.
Yeah, I was like, what are you talking about?
The
Good way?
tolerable way to drink it was you go to Sonic, and like
Oh.
if you whatever color you got, or flavor like red, purple, orange, you got that same color of slush, and then you would dump out from Sonic. You get a large slush, dump out about half of it, and then fill it up, and it was tolerable then because
Alternatively, you could just go, I need half of a large slush, less ice, just put it in there. They knew.
Some things should not come back. Mad Dog 2020 and clove cigarettes, man.
Oh, dude. Darium clove cigarettes. I miss them. I do. It reminds me of
the
high school.
little,
That just reminds me of high school.
Yeah, dude.
yeah.
It's good times, though.
The goth girls, but now it's going to be trendy and cool to smoke clove cigarettes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to smoke those just because they were the easiest to get my hands on when I was underage. That and like fucking, remember when Crushes came out? Mm-hmm. Crushes,
Yeah.
like,
I used to get those for free.
yeah, like I was,
Like cartons of them working at the nightclubs.
Yeah.
Because the girls would come in and I'd be like, let me get a pack. And they're like, here, have 17.
Yeah,
and I'm
right.
just like,
yeah,
all right.
okay. So are there going to be clove cigarettes and Campbell Crushes at the shop party?
Free clothes and camels.
Yeah. Bum fights, and then Nate working the glory hole.
Yeah.
Now,
Doing what he does best.
so he has put a reel out. I have seen it in person, but there is a shop party specific shirt. Is it a limited release?
No, it's just a limited release. It's
Okay.
a new design I had drawn up a couple of years ago and never got it to the
So it's an old new design.
yes.
New old stock, if you
New
will.
old stock.
Yeah, NOS.
It's
For the eBay use.
NOS design. It'll go limited and it'll be on eBay for $15 more than it's worth there pretty soon anyway. So
Yeah.
Nice.
The jersey worn or the game worn ones.
yeah.
Yeah.
Then after a while, Walmart will knock it off and start selling it next to the Iron Cross stuff from
West Coast Choppers.
West Coast Shoppers.
Dude, I kind of knew that like West Coast Choppers had just kind of hit a point because it was Orange County Choppers, West Coast Choppers. When you went into Walmart,
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
That's what made him rich, though.
Dude, fucking no shit.
You know who else did that?
Ferrari, Lamborghini, Louis Vuitton.
What?
Who are you talking about?
Shaq.
Shaq. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did
Yeah, with his shoes.
Yeah, I
Because-
forgot. Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he went Nike, and somebody was trying to get him to do a deal, and they were going to price him at like $150, and he was like, no.
Nope.
And so he did a deal with Reebok.
Yep.
Yeah.
And,
And they're
put him in
only
Walmart,
Walmart.
and he wanted the highest priced pair to be $39.99.
Mm-hmm.
And it was all because some lady actually met him and like chastised him because she couldn't afford to get her kid
Yeah.
shoes. And he like, dude, he's kind of a good entrepreneur.
Yeah.
And so he was like, yeah, I'm doing this. And they like threw a fit. And so
He
I
had
think
to
it was
buy them.
I think it was Adidas who he was going with, and then
Yeah.
he trashed that deal. And
Had to pay money out to trash that deal.
Yeah.
And it
And
wasn't
then-
an insignificant amount of money either.
right, and then went to Reebok and was like, I want to do this, and they were like, yes,
Yeah.
and then he made like $1 billion off of
Yeah,
it.
he made a killing on
Yeah,
that.
he-
And this is
Yeah.
how Shelby's
I
gonna
love
become.
I love listening to him and Charles Barkley batter at each other.
yeah.
Not
For one, he's an ugly dude, and I don't really like him.
as a non-sports fan, every time this come on, I'm like, this is the best.
Yeah.
When they were talking about getting fired, like what, 6 months ago, and like everyone's like, "Are they getting fired?" And they're like, "No," but I mean, we say some unhinged shit on our episodes. Yeah, and then he owns Five Guys, or not owns, but he owns like a bunch of Papa John's, Five Guys, not Chick-fil-A's, but he owns another chicken.
He owns a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, like it's
When he was here, because when was it? When last time we were going to the finals? When Westbrook and all of them were actually playing for the Thunder. He
8
was
years
here
ago.
for like 2 weeks. Had his truck flown in because he was driving around
yeah.
in his. Had
Is
a
it
big,
the
like,
6x6?
Avalanche or something? Or
Yeah, because he has a 6x G wagon,
Something.
and some
I don't
other
know.
shit. Yeah, then we're gonna start seeing Shelby in that shit whenever he gets his new shirt over at Walmart. Though,
That's right.
What do you think you're
Yeah.
gonna price it at? Like $1 million of like $17.52 like a shirt?
Yeah, it's got to be an odd number.
yeah,
So,
1849.
yeah. You're like, what's the significance of 1840? I really like that year. Yeah,
but yeah, we've got some new shirts and stuff like that. I'm trying to get some hats made and everything, but that won't be ready.
Yeah.
But like I said, it's just a good reason to get everybody together, get out.
yeah, yeah. And it's gonna be exciting because a lot
So
of
what time?
5 o'clock.
yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to start the grill up at 5. But
Okay.
we'll be there most of the day, so just whoever shows up, shows up.
Okay.
So.
Right.
Bum fights at 7:30.
Yeah, that's right.
We
If
just,
not, we can find somebody to. We'll just start having fights in the
I mean,
alley.
I still have my
Burnouts and blackouts.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's next year's theme.
Burnouts and
Blackouts. We gotta do it in the city right away though. So whenever they get fucked up, they have to sue the city to get their medical shit paid for.
Yeah.
I still have my my helmet from boxing. I can bring it out there and fuck. I got multiple.
Helmets are pussies.
Dude, you say that shit.
Bare knuckle this bitch.
So when I was training with my professional heavyweight trainer, he was like, "No, you're gonna want a helmet." And I was like, "Nah, I think I'm good." He's like, "Okay," and he hits me square in the nose, and he's like, "Do you want that helmet yet?" I was like, "Yeah, I want it real bad right now." Fucking clocked the shit out of me. R.I.P. So, so is this a anniversary of the shop or anything, or just I couldn't remember?
Just a reason to get together and have a party. We've always kind of wanted to have one there, and we just never did. So
Yeah.
we're just there's not really that much going on around town around this time of year, so we just try to get something going together and see if it's repeatable.
I think
So,
it will be.
yeah.
I think we'll have a pretty good turnout for you guys. Like, you know,
There
Probably
used to
not.
be one, there
Probably
used to
not.
be one up in Kansas called the Gathering of Cool Shit.
yeah,
So that shut down. So
Yeah.
we're trying to maybe draw on that aspect and kind of bring something in back here into the city.
yeah, and
So
it's.
Shelby's Gathering of Retards.
yeah,
Hold on, I gotta censor that. I don't know where that button is. Yeah, I can't say the R word. And it's no. We found out on one of the episodes. The listeners never heard it, but we found out the censor button doesn't work the right way. So I had to edit an episode extensively. Like I was like, God, I think they said it again. Yeah, I think this will, in the mini bike races will be cool. And then, are you guys doing? You're not doing any prizes. It's just run what you brung, show up what you want to park in the parking lot, and all that
yeah.
stuff.
It's just a gathering. Like I said, just come by, have a burger, have a beer. I'm gonna pony up and put some free beers in the coolers.
Hell
and
yeah.
we'll drink
Nice.
until they're gone, and then probably reload again. But
Yeah,
Yeah.
just do some burgers and beers and come by and might throw some shirts out for bikes that we like and stuff like that. So.
that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, the new shirts.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, the new run of shirts. I got one when I was over there the other day. It's fucking nice. I got a lot of people asking me like, so do they like take silvery Chevelerados and stuff? I was like, not that kind of chop shop. So
At least once a week, I get someone calling, "Hey man, will you give me for my Lexus?" I'm like, for one, if I wanted it, I would steal it. That's how chop shops work.
Yeah.
We wouldn't buy it. And two, that's pretty illegal from the last time I heard. We're not going to advertise on Google.
yeah.
So,
Have you gone through and looked at your Google reviews for people?
oh, they're funny.
Yeah, I
some
know it's
of
pretty
them
fucking good. Like, if you,
So somebody thinks we're a barber shop.
yeah,
There's another one that thinks we're said something about they're not taking my car or something like that.
Yeah.
Or they won't answer, and a couple of them
you're
are
like,
actually,
yeah.
a couple of them are actually legit customers. But I guess there was a barber shop up in Tulsa called the Chop Shop.
oh really?
And so when I did my LLC and everything like that, I had to jump through a bunch of hoops because I couldn't get a hold of the lady that owned the name to get the release.
Yeah,
So to
actually get the ownership of the LLC.
Yeah.
so I had to actually kind of change the name up a little bit for the LLC, and that all kind of boggled me because it wasn't OKC Chop Shop up there. It was just the Chop Shop. And for some reason, legal wouldn't let me have the OKC Chop Shop because of that. I'm like, that would be Tulsa Chop Shop, if anything.
Right. Yeah. When I went to go do the one for my drafting business, they asked like, what does it stand for? And I'm like, I explained it. And they're like, okay, so you need to not abbreviate it. I'm like, dude, no, it's going to be the longest fucking check name ever. Like, I couldn't figure out a fucking name. So I just named it this. And they're like, yeah, you need, I'm like, nope, it's just this. Don't fucking make this more complicated than it needs to be.
Mine, I had to put a bunch of numbers after the back of it to get it legalized. So my LLC is like OKC Chop Shop 88 442 9999. Whatever.
420 69 69 69.
I was like,
420
but that's how we got it through.
underscore X capitals.
That lady still will not answer the damn phone.
No, because she's holding on to that until you get the
Yeah.
Walmart money, and then she's gonna want to let go of that name.
Then she's going to extort me for it. I had it first.
It's like whitehouse.com.
Yeah. Don't go to that.
Yeah.
No, go to it, just not at your
Not
work.
on a government
Yeah.
computer.
Yeah.
I worked with this engineer, and when you see a power pole,
Have you called the old help desk line? It's like a phone sex line now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
1-800-EAT-SHIT is actually to a phone sex line because someone asked me because I have that sticker from Rickshaw Billy's on the back of my bike, and they're like, "Have you called it?" Oh yeah, you should call it right now in front of your friends and family.
I wonder what Gay Bikers for Jesus is. I'm sure it's a gay phone sex line.
Yeah. So when I went to go do
It's
the
Phillips 66 cell
Phillips
phone
60
number.
yeah.
Phillips 66, what is his username? Fuck you, Nate.
Phillips 66.
Yeah. Every time I ride the scooter over to OnQ inevitably someone looks because there's your sticker on the headlight. Thank you. And then there's the one that they put for club style on the license plate. You get a lot of questions. Like,
Yeah. They're pretty entertaining stickers.
Yeah.
yeah. And then shout out to Jeff. Jeff was talking about how he had the red ones for a long time. And I was like, there's a red one? I want a red one and a pink one. Where did you get those at?
I think it's Loser Machine that has them.
Okay.
I get them from them.
Yeah.
And then where'd you get your Harley Davidson at?
From
with
Nate. And
from
that
Nate, with
so-
the rainbow
Yeah.
one.
Have you seen that one yet? I'll show it to you after the
Yeah.
episode. It's the Harley #1 logo, and it says Harley Davidson on it.
But the one is a rainbow.
Yeah, rainbow colors. And he's like, you can only take this if you're going to put it on the KZP. I said, sure, undoubtedly. And he's like, and this sticker got a cease and desist from
I would imagine.
yeah, so there's only like this one left. And I was like, cool.
Well, Harley's kind of in shambles right now anyway. I think the only thing keeping them alive is the damn clothing industry.
That's another one because I've heard that Harley makes more money off of like their apparel and all
They
that stuff.
don't actually. They do make a lot, but they don't make more.
I mean, have you seen the cost of a CVO?
I'm not paying $45,000 for a motorcycle.
I mean, it's 110 now.
No. That's the
that-
fancy race one.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, hold on. Hot take. What do you feel about the fancy race one? It's a fucking house.
Yeah, there's not
Dumb.
that much money into that.
No,
That's dumb.
Yeah,
I can't. Well,
If you've got enough money to buy that one as a regular person,
Well, it's like when they broke into the specific XG for flat track racing.
Yeah,
because they were trying to beat up on Indian. They had to make a manufacturer's bike.
yeah, homologation
So
bike.
they come up with the XG. They're $50,000
What? I didn't know they
buy
were.
one,
yeah.
and then parts and everything like that. They're not as bad as the XRs were because the XR 750s, they were basically a handmade motorcycle. Nothing interchanges with two.
Right.
I've got a friend that's got 3 of them. You can't take anything off of one of them and put it on the other one.
Holy shit! I didn't know they were that.
They're
bespoke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the motors don't match. Everything is pretty much damn near handmade on them. So it's really hard to, like, if you have a breakdown on the track or you lay it down or something like that, it's hard to get back going.
Yeah.
Right.
And then with the XGs, it kind of pushed a lot of guys out because used to it was kind of run what you brung. If you're fast, you're fast. If you're not,
Yeah.
well, you're in the back.
Yeah.
Well, Indian came out with their flat tracker, and then Harley came out with the XG and just priced everybody out, and then they spec classed it. So basically, you can only have
That.
an Indian, a Harley XG, and I think there's one other one that they'll allow in. But so there's 3 bikes you can own.
Right.
So it pushed a lot of guys out into the vintage class that were still competitive in the upper level classes, but
And then the vintage class doesn't necessarily do the same points or championship too, doesn't it? Yeah.
it doesn't pay out as well.
Right.
There's not any advertising for it and stuff like
And
that.
that's
So a lot of guys are staying on the super singles where they're basically running dirt bikes
yeah.
with different suspension.
Yeah.
But I mean, when you try to go from the dirt bike or to the super singles to the higher level where you're racing against the paid professionals, basically, if you don't have the money, you're just moneyed out. I mean,
And that's the unfortunate thing about a lot of the racing lately is where you're really, and if you don't have a big pocketbook or a big sponsor behind you, like you're just not getting into it.
Yeah.
And in Spec Miatas, that was so great for so long because you could realistically spend maybe 15 on a trailer and your car and your tires and all that stuff. Even those guys are getting priced down now because a bunch of those spec series are requiring X, Y, and Z now of all this different shit. So now you're kind of doing a random ass track day at like Hallett or shit like that. So
I love doing track days and stuff like that, but I mean, even now that's getting too expensive. I mean, Hallett's damn near $200 just to go and do a track day.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a set of tires damn near.
Yeah.
right.
So even doing track days is getting hurt. The only thing that I think that is still economical somewhat to race is still doing the dirt bike racing.
Yeah.
Because me and Tim, we'll go out and probably 2, 3, 4 races a year, and you're out $50 to $100 to go for a race weekend.
And that's
So,
a
That's
good
seeing that.
weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's how it should be.
yeah, we did the Flint Hills race 2 years ago, and we're going to try to do it again this year. And it's a 100-miler. I mean, it's a long race.
That is a very long race.
And it's still like $80 entry. So
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's awesome.
Yeah. And that was like going
What are you riding in that?
I've got a gas 300.
Okay.
So
don't let everybody tell you you need more CCs for that kind of stuff. Yeah. Yeah. And then you've
See,
been,
I want to do something. I want to get of course, I want to do something ridiculous. And
You always want to do.
I know that's what makes it fun.
I know.
It's not fun if you do it like what everybody else can do.
Yeah.
But I want to get like, 70s, 100 and just do some like 100-mile race on it, like
There's a
or
guy
the
that
Baja
come-
100, just
Yeah.
go like full vintage class and just go.
That's the only way you'll be
and send
competitive
it.
is the vintage.
I'm not even cared about being competitive. It's just like
Ending.
actually doing it and having fun, having a ball, and
we did the Grand Prix. What'd they call it? It was on the river Grand Prix, and it was about a 2-hour race.
Is that the one at Lost Lakes?
Yes.
Yeah.
We did that last year. They're having it today, actually.
Oh, I didn't realize
It's
it
a
was-
blackjack race today, so it's a little.
it's
different.
Lost Lake's the one off 10th and
Yeah.
Yep. The Wake Park thing, and that's where they
yeah,
do the
yeah,
gathering.
yeah,
The
over in Midwest City or
not the gathering of the Juggalos, but the Juggalo party
yeah.
where the Juggalos hang out in the woods.
But we did that race last year, and there was a guy out there on XR 200 just having having a ball,
Yeah.
and tearing it
Yeah.
up. I think it's not Weira. There's a vintage racing organization, and they do races all over Oklahoma and Texas
Yeah,
and stuff like
yeah.
that. And Tim used to race a lot in that.
I've
And,
watched. There's been a couple where I was watching. It's a couple different groups, and there was one that they did a ride from like California up to or not California, Colorado, and they rode all over like
Utah.
Estes Park. And then went down like $1 Million Highway, went up into Utah,
Yeah, that's
went up
this-
into Oregon,
the-
and you can't have anything over 300.
That's the
And
vintage
it's got to
ones,
be,
yeah.
no, it's a vintage one, so
have a
everything's
chase
got to be
truck. They-
like 40. I think the
It's
newest is like 40 years old,
yeah.
and can't be over a 300. And then and it's like a week-long deal where they go and they just ride.
tour,
And I'm like,
Yeah. It's
dude,
super
that would
fucking
be
cool.
so fucking awesome.
Yeah. I've got a CB 175 that I need to put back together. That'd be pretty cool to do stuff like that on. But, I mean, some of the vintage stuff is a lot of fun. I mean, it just opens up avenues.
Right.
But
The one big part about like this bike, the one that's in the studio, is like it was so hard to get all the parts for back 25 years ago.
Yeah.
Like now, because I have like 14 bolt kits for it because I needed like 2 bolts, and the ones I got from Thailand didn't have all of it in it. So like having a lot of the parts, if you're not super resourceful, kind of sucks when it comes to the older stuff. But then like the PW50s and a lot of that stuff's coming back around, and then you can call up Chop Shop.
Yeah.
And you can be like, hey, I need this one off part made.
Or like,
And,
the Trail 90s. Like
Yeah.
we had one of those growing up,
yeah.
and those were
Yeah.
so much fun. And now they're like, you can get them brand new. And
yeah, the
I've-
Trail 125s, man.
I've built up a bunch of those little Trail 50s and stuff like that just for fun over time. And I mean, what it is people get nostalgic of their youth.
Right.
I had one of these when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I don't wanna,
Yeah, I had one that was a clapped out piece of shit, and I want to see if rebuilt and redone, if it's still, and it is. But yeah,
but I had a JR50 when I was a kid, and I remember my mom picking it up and throwing it in the back of the Bonneville and going out to grandma's to go ride on
yeah.
it. So.
I mean, that's like
hey, we were ripping was last weekend or a weekend before last, a little 125 pit bike, and it was like I'm doing wheelies up and down my street, and I'm like, fuck, this is so much fun.
yeah, pit bikes are a good time. Like, but
And
the
then
problem is everybody has realized pit bikes are a good time.
Oh, yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
when I got into vans, everyone's
then-
like, oh, $20,000 for a classic van. I'm like, fuck no.
Well, no. Then I got told, I was like, we got enough room in the garage. You could get one. And I was like,
You got
what?
enough room in the garage for a Honda Elite.
And she was like, that's not ever supposed to come to the garage. That's supposed to get sold.
Yeah,
But you
we built up
you
2
won't
of
make it
them.
run.
And they were flat tracking them down in Purcell, and we went and flat tracked them for a couple of times. And
Yeah,
we'd
because
go
you were
down to-
doing where's it, the mini bikes or were they
Yeah.
pit bikes?
They're pit bikes.
Pit bikes.
Yeah.
Yeah. At the Ag Center there.
Yeah,
Yeah, every time we
Yeah.
drive up from Dallas or drive down to Dallas, we're like, oh, Shelby's done some cool shit over in that
Yeah.
building right there.
but
Because I go down a Purcell all the time, so I see it all the time.
if
and
you're
I'm like,
if you're ever gonna get hurt, it's gonna be on one of them.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And it's going to be violent.
Violent.
Yeah.
A buddy crashed in front of me, and I just tattooed him with my bike. It hit him so hard he pulled his throttle off the handlebar because he didn't let go of the throttle.
Yeah. He was like fucking yeeting this thing into space.
Yeah, he was leaning it over and letting it slide a little bit and caught a foot peg and it stood him up and I just I his head.
That's,
he
that's
damn
why
near-
you take the foot peg off.
Yeah, he damn near got concussed because his head hit my handlebar so hard, but I plowed the shit out of him.
Have you
Nice.
been racing the mini bike with Tim a whole lot lately, or does that pretty much stop for a little bit?
For now, it has. I
It's-
think they're firing it back up.
Yeah.
but-
With Tim, hi Tim, it becomes waves of enjoyment.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's third level fun. Sometimes it's first level fun.
He has a tendency of talking me into a lot of shit.
Yeah. Every time I see him, he's like, I have gotten into this new hobby. You should also get into this
Yeah.
hobby. I have got Shelby into this. I'm like, I talked to him. He's not into it yet. He's not completely sold on
He's
this.
like, no,
he's definitely
he
a-
will be. He doesn't know it yet.
I call him the peer pressure monster. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
he will try to push you into everything that he's interested in.
Well, and I will say, granted, he does find a lot of enjoyable, cool habits and hobbies. It's just he finds one every other 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Like he,
It's that ADHD. He just,
dude, I
He
thought I
can't
had
sit
it.
still.
yeah.
I thought I had it real bad. He's
was
like,
he was trying to get me to do that race this afternoon at the Grand Prix.
and you're like, oh no, I got a podcast I gotta go do, and I
I was like,
can't.
no, man, I'm old, fat, and I don't want to fucking do that. He drugged me into one a couple months ago, and he's like, yeah, man, it's just a 2-hour race. It took me 2 hours and 45 minutes. By the time I got done, Tim's sitting in the back of the truck, all his gear's off. He's like, man, we thought something happened to you. You've been gone for 45 minutes. I'm like, I was still racing.
Yeah, motherfucker, I was still out there fucking running and gunning, man.
He's like, I thought I was going to die.
I thought I was gonna die. Yeah, you're just like, what
I've been
the
in a
fuck?
few of those.
Yeah. There's been a couple gravel bike races where I'm like, I think he's gonna kill me today. Just like,
I got to get my fat ass back in shape.
yeah. This one
Round
is
is a shape.
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
I need to not be shapes. That's my main goal
Yeah.
this year.
You're like, I think the washer's shrunk all my shirts. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
Just like you look like you've been buying your shirts at Baby Gap.
I know, it's pretty bad. Yeah. I bought a concert t-shirt at a show, and then I ran into a guy I kind of vaguely know, and then he sees me at the next show wearing that concert show. And from the last time I saw him, he's like, I think you bought an XL. I was like, I did. I just don't know how to do laundry. I don't know how to do laundry or quit eating good food that's really healthy. Yeah. Yeah. The pit bike one, so I've got my vintage pit bike, so I really want to get that going. And as soon as I get it going, everybody will be out of pit bikes and all, or the mini bikes. But I really want to go do that shit. That looks like so much fun.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
You should get this one running.
I mean,
Not to like do
Oh,
pit
dude.
bike bullshit, but
Well, yeah.
but like
Just a mob around town.
Just-
honestly.
yeah. I mean, take it if you want to take it around, but like don't let it sit here and waste away. You know,
Yeah,
it's
I got that.
like at least have it where it's kind of
it starts and it runs. It just needs. So I have a. So I got
Ranwin Park.
yeah, exactly.
Well, I ran one part. and then
Park 20 years ago.
just needs a fuel pump. I got everything I got it when I was 10. I got everything slowly off of eBay. That's how I figured out the NOS thing. Because I was like, why the fuck are they putting nitrous? Because Fast and the Furious had like just come out for me. And I was like, what? And I was like, what is NOS? Because NLA and NOS. And then there was another 3-letter acronym. I can't remember what it was. But so
BBC.
huh?
BBC.
Fuck you. Thanks for the sticker, dude. So
BBL.
yeah. So I have like 14 sets of parts to build multiple of these. And I actually have 3 frames.
Right.
Because I have my dad's original frame from when he was a kid. I have this one that's complete. And I had the twin jet, which is the double cylinder one.
Yeah.
But I'm missing like 75% of that motor. So I've always was like, I'll just build that motor with like something new.
That's kind of
Right.
what got me into. When I was a kid, I always had to piece and part bikes together because I would get the hand-me-downs from my older cousins, and so it'd have a GT80 with an XR50 or XR70 front end on it, and then we'd break that and have to cobble something else together.
Yep.
And that's really what got me interested in kind of working on them, is because I had to.
Yeah, that's
If I wanted to ride, I had to fix
Right.
it. So.
you have to be wrenching on it to a certain, and it's not always like a major process, but it's something every time you take it out.
And when I was growing up, my grandfather, he would show you how to do it one time, and then the next time it's on you. He'll give you pointers, but like if you're pulling a tire off and replacing a tire, you're going to struggle.
Yeah.
He'll show you how to do it once, and then it's on you to take care
Now,
of it. So,
when you say the pointers, did he like actually give helpful pointers, or was he like, you shouldn't do it that way?
yeah, pretty
Okay.
much.
Yeah, that's how my dad was.
You
That's
doing
a bad idea.
That's not how I would do it.
You're doing
Well,
it.
how would you do it? God damn it!
And he's like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're doing it wrong, boy.
Dude,
Yeah.
if I've heard that once, I've heard enough. Yeah, that was like growing up, we were just poor, so everything was always kind of a piecemeal thing for us personally. And then you get these really high end motor builds that we do. So like you'd have like this is how we were gonna do it, and this is how the right way to do it is. And then, so like when I got into cars, people were like, "You can't put that on there." I'm like, and I did, and it works, and I made it work. And like I had to learn how to solder for this. Yeah, it works.
We go through that at the shop all the time because people will come in. They're like, "Yeah, I got this part, and this part." They said it would fit, and of course it would. Of course they said it would fit. They're trying to sell you something.
Yeah, it
I
will work.
learned that when I first got my very first Harley.
Yeah.
And it was a basket case, and everybody was like, "Oh yeah, it'll fit." Well, yeah, you're gonna have to take it to a machine shop. You're gonna have it machined, and you're gonna have to fab all this, and
It will fit eventually.
yeah, exactly.
And
several $1,000s later.
And we do a lot of that at the shop. A lot of our work is fabbing and making stuff. I mean, you can buy a kit bike out of a catalog and probably put it together and have a decent looking bike. But if you want something that actually works correctly, for one, geometry is a big key.
Yeah.
And two, is not going to fall apart on you because you didn't do it right. I mean, you're going to end up paying.
Yeah, and that's the big deal is like when I bought multiple parts for like the black wagon outside, the drag wagon, I'd be like, well, I have to use injectors off of this. I know they work. I verified they work. But if they didn't work, I'm going to go machine the part or fabricate the part. And I'm not like you and Bryan where I'm fucking, it looks like Stevie Wonder did it most of the time when I do it. But that's the thing is like, if you're going to build something cool, you don't know, contacting you guys to really, like you and Bryan over there just doing fucking metal art.
You know,
Bryan
this.
definitely he's got the fab touch.
Yeah. Well, and that he's got
the touch for sure. Love you, Bryan.
He's got that the jig for doing the choppers, the frames and everything else. And watching when I know he was doing that one for Zeke where, and Zeke was just so happens to be a filmmaker. So he's filming it and it's like,
holy shit, that was a good fucking combo out of the two of those.
I mean, having a frame jig for one is
right.
You're going to get it on there square. It's going to be welded correctly. It's going to be, the motor's going to fit like it's supposed to.
Yep.
It's not you're just hacksawing the back end off of it and cobble welding it together. So it's slugged. It's done professionally.
Right.
Done
Right.
That's I've looked at a lot of XS 650 like hardtail bikes where I'm like, I wouldn't mind having one. I want to build one with you guys, but like I look at what's the ones that come up on Facebook Marketplace. I'm like, who the fuck? Because like the rear frame,
Stevie Wonder,
dude,
in his garage,
he can't see.
Garage,
Because I've looked at some custom shit where I'm like, okay, well, how old is this build? Oh, well, you just built it. Like, well, I'm buying this for one part of this, not the whole. Yeah. Cumulative effort was a D in the performance department. Yeah, because the geometry, and then a lot of people think they can weld, and they find out very quickly they could not weld as good as they thought they could. Yeah. Everybody thinks they could be a porn star until you start slinging dick. Yeah.
I can stick metal together, whether it's going to stay together or not. But Bryan knows how to do that a lot better than me. So
yeah, like I have a lot of buddies that do various different types of welding, and they'll be like, they'll come over and help me kind of put shit together, and like, oh, that wasn't good penetration. The weld looks good, but it does not perform well. Right. I'd rather it look like shit and do what it needs to do. But then you go over there and look at Bryan, and you're like, fuck, okay.
But I mean, that's all with time and experience. So, but I'm pretty excited right now because I about got my shovel head back together.
Yeah.
It's been down for 4 years because I've been lazy, but I'm working on other projects. So it'd be nice to get some of my stuff back together. But
what year's your shovel head?
It's 69, 70, 71, 70. It's kind of a hodgepodge.
It's everything. Yeah.
It's most of the parts are an 80, but when it comes down to it, it's pretty much the motor is a 74 cubic inch, so it's the small bore.
Right.
So it's a kind of a, like I said, it's a hodgepodge motor of everything. And then the frame is an original 1980 FL frame that Sam Wells back half for me. So.
Right.
Talking about Sam, how did you feel about it? So when did he do that frame? He did it for you?
Yeah, that was 2010 or 11.
So Sam, a lot of people don't realize, talking about Orange County choppers and all that stuff.
Yeah.
He used to build
all their frames.
All their frames. And that was in Oklahoma City. So when people were like, oh, yeah, there's not shit for fucking Oklahoma City for cool shit. Depending on what
Actually-
year you were in and you thought shit was cool, Mr. fucking Affliction shirts.
Yeah. Sam built frames for them. He built them for brass balls. I mean, he's actually basically a legend in the drag industry when it comes
Holy
to
shit, he is.
he's got some really fast records that he holds. And man, those bikes that his drag bikes that he built back in the day, they were nothing to scoff
When we
at.
were out
Yeah.
there last summer, he had one from Finland that
Yeah.
was like
Oh, that thing was
That-
gorgeous.
that
Did you-
thing was
did-
yeah.
gorgeous
Holy
and
shit.
it fast.
Yeah, and that was the one they brought over to sell, and I think they either had 3 or 4 more they had built in Finland that they were trying to sell
Well, they brought it over
for the series, I think.
for the series, and then it went to Australia.
Okay.
And it rolled around, and Sam went with it to pit for it. to-
Right.
No, I didn't realize he
tune
went
and
down there.
everything.
Okay.
And so they ran it around there for a couple of months in Australia, and he kind of ran around with it.
Nice.
I love Sam because he's so nice. He's real, not dry. He's straight to the point on some stuff. If you
yeah.
ask him something like if technical question,
Real
he's going to answer it.
unassuming though.
Oh, yeah.
The knowledge that guy's got about
Dude,
motorcycles and anything.
Anything.
Is ridiculous.
And in I just love when you walk into the shop, like it's the pro mod team on one half, and then his half is just the motorcycle shit, and then the DeLorean's in there randomly. You're like, what?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
But he's just so fucking nice. But because I bought that trailer from him, my motorcycle trailer came from him. And so I was like, hey, can I get your phone number in case I have any questions about it? He's like, yes. And he pulls out a flip phone. He goes, do not text me. And if the phone call comes, it better be fucking important. I was like, well, what's the level of importance? He goes, important. I was like,
Important.
okay, you were there when it happened.
no, I was.
And so we got in the truck. I was like, so I shouldn't just call him to see what's up.
No.
He was like,
No.
no. Super fucking nice guy, though.
Yeah, but I mean, he had that shop, Innovative Frameworks, for years right there behind Thunder Roadhouse, and a lot of people didn't even know it was there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, he fabbed some amazing bikes out of there and built some amazing frames and stuff out
Well,
of
like
there.
his shop
so-
now, there's no like you wouldn't
There's
know,
no fat in that shop. That shop
you,
is just
you would
all
not
production.
know that it was like there's no signs, there's no yeah.
That's my favorite kind of shop is when you
bet-
walk
yeah.
in.
Until he gets his place built out. He's got a big piece of property that he's building a big barn on too.
Nice.
And,
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, because Sam, being the private guy that he is, he'd drop off the face of the earth. So
Right.
I don't know where I saw him last. I saw he was in Vietnam.
that'd be me.
I know. This motherfucker Friday comes over,
Don't
hangs
let
out.
me get some money. I'm gone.
He comes over, hangs out for like 2 hours, and he's like, yeah, they're like, you'll just randomly be like, oh, last time I saw him, he was posting in Vietnam. Never heard from him again. I was like, come on, man, we're friends. I travel. I'll come over and see you. No, you won't.
No, you won't.
No, I was like, all right.
I'll buy a private island in Thailand. Just
Yeah.
here.
You're like me and Richard Branson, next door neighbors
Yeah.
by about 100 sea miles. Yeah. But I mean, like, there's a lot of really cool shops here that have come and gone that have built really cool shit, and people just don't really necessarily realize that.
Yeah.
Like, and that's so Jeff was over and you worked on his shovel head. Yeah, that's that really cool black bag that we looked at forever. I was like,
Yeah.
that's what I want for a Harley.
Jeff
And-
Ives.
Yeah, Jeff Ives. So he came over in t-shirts, watch the social media because we're going to also have t-shirts. Not going to die bomb on your episode too much for that. But so he was talking about it. He's like, man, it's just so cool to have the Chop Shop here. Like they're doing really cool work between what you guys do. And then, there's not a huge chopper community as much as it would have been back like, well, probably 20 years ago and all that stuff or even further
because
back.
it's having a revival.
But-
it's coming back with
Well, and I think the interesting thing about us as opposed to like California, where it's like you see a lot of people on choppers out there, but they're not really. It's more of a accessory for them. It's
Yeah.
not they're all about it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
hey,
and when I say they're coming back here, I feel like it's coming back as in people are actually taking the time to build it
yeah,
and make it a lot more custom, like building their chopper.
Yeah.
correct.
And so it's not like, yeah, I know between them they'll be like, hey, let's trade this or that or this.
Oh, that community is very horistic. Yeah,
It is, but then you see a lot of the people on the same bike that they've had for 5-10 years, and it's like piecemeal together, but it runs and they run and the dog shit out of it.
and they're
you
riding
know?
the fuck out of them. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, I rode all over the place with Knucklehead Mike, and I mean, he built that panhead. Oh, it was probably 2012. He built this beautiful blue panhead with mother Mary on it all over the place. It was a gorgeous bike, and after he showed it for maybe 6 months, he just started riding it and rode the living piss out of it. Every event I would go to, Mike Antonero was there with the blue pan.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I went down to Mexico with him and rode through Mexico when he was on the blue pan head. So
That was a real fucking weird one to find out. He's talking about that trip on his episode, and then we've known each other for a while. And I was like, oh, he was also on that fucking trip.
Yeah.
Where he famously slept with a rock for a pillow.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, where I'm like, what the fuck?
That dude's as hard as a fucking bag of nails.
Yeah.
Dude, Kickstart Mike is just, I'm like, every time he tells me some shit, I'm like, what?
Dude, we were cruising down a road in Mexico, and he hit a pothole so hard, his ass must have come probably 3 feet off of the seat. He had his helmet hanging onto his sissy bar, and it shot his helmet up into the air about 30 feet.
Wow.
And he shuts it down and gets it stopped, and we thought he blew his back tire, but there were some bad roads down there.
Yeah.
And he ended up breaking his, I think it was his shifter lever on his foot, or his foot clutch lever, and ended up having to find a guy there in Mexicali to weld it up for him. But it was a pretty interesting trip. So
And that's from the Fast Life one that we did with all the club style guys, where it's like, the newer Harleys. I bring all the tools because I customarily, if you know how the tools work and you know to bring them with you, you can help everybody else out. So like their shifters are falling apart, or their bike's falling apart, or fucking belts coming off, or whatever the fuck's happening.
Breaking.
Not coming off. But so like there's that part of it where you think the new Harleys are going to be like turnkey, no problem. And then there's because I think about all the problems being from the chopper shit, because it's like, oh, I've cobbled all this stuff together. It looks really nice. It is a cool build.
It's motorcycles in general.
It's motorcycles in general.
It doesn't matter what.
I mean, because that's like watching people. There was on. I was watching some people on Instagram going out to like Arizona Bike Week, or they were going out to California for like the thrashing supply week or whatever they were having, and it was like
Midwest Hood Rat,
and then hit something in Amarillo, had to get new wheels because it was like broke his wheels, and then
shout out to Devin because he called his homies over at Amarillo's Harley dealership, and they took a new front wheel off of a bike, put it on their bike to get him sent down the road.
Yeah,
and then they were just going to order another one in. I was like, that's actually really cool. That was,
but they also had something in Arizona, Utah, kind of Flagstaff kind of area. I think they were going. They had another issue where it was like, but I mean that's just motorcycle shit, especially if you're going like 1,000+ miles, you're doing a cross country trip. You got to expect
something's gonna happen.
Something's gonna happen.
And I think even in a really well sorted, it's like coming from cars, even in a well sorted car, you're gonna have something happen.
Oh, absolutely.
The AC's not working as well.
It's like having shit boxes. Growing up with shit boxes. It's like my first car was $300, and I had to build it, and it was a Volkswagen, so it was like there were several times that I had tools. I didn't have tools to fix it. I had tools to fix it enough to get me home. Yeah.
Right.
And that's the big difference is like, if something comes off, you've at least got some parts to either, or the tools to like put a Band-Aid on it to get you down the road, home, or at least down the road somewhere where you're not stuck on the side of the road. But,
Yeah, so I didn't really think about this on your first episode, but like you were doing overlanding, especially with a lot of the guys from the Oklahomies for a while. So when you were overlanding, like how brutal was that to deal with? Like,
I didn't really have a lot of trouble with it. I mean, just depends on where you're going and your level of comfort when you're getting into.
I mean, and that's true. Yeah. A lot of the overlanding people.
Yeah, and
there's
overlanding,
a difference between overlanding and rock climbing.
Yeah.
Rock crawling, climbing. Because like rock crawling, when
you're
when I was doing it, you're breaking axle. You're
usually trailing the rig there with the intention of it's coming back on the trailer, hopefully as one solid unit.
Okay,
if you're lucky, but a lot of guys
money bags.
A lot of guys.
I'm talking about like the big money like tubular frames they all built out.
Fuck those guys.
I'm talking those are fucking the shit though.
Yeah. Well,
but.
Shitbox budget here.
Yeah.
You're driving down there and you're gonna fucking rock crawl it and hopefully not fuck it up enough that you can't rock crawl or drive it back home.
Yeah.
Have a windshield in it still.
Yeah.
But a lot of that was just driving to camp. So
Yeah.
a lot of the overland,
Yeah.
that's pretty much what it was driving to a cool spot to camp at.
Yeah.
But a lot of times you're going to get into some shit that you probably shouldn't have got into.
Yeah.
right.
You're like, there's a river crossing here?
Yeah.
What?
that's-
Yeah.
So,
There
but
wasn't, but there is now.
Those are the fun times when you got to try and figure out how you're going to get across something or up something or over something. So,
Yeah, like when we were going down to Polar and the KZP had the electrical shit going on. Like I know a lot of people. Now I'm not saying that like they're bad, but there's a lot of guys I know. They're like, I would have just quit right there. I would have called someone to come get
Yeah.
me from Texas. I'm like, no, motherfucker, I'm here.
Yeah.
No one's coming to save.
Well-
Well, I'm gonna take that back. Someone did come to save me eventually, but that was a much later part in that weekend.
That's
But
a different problem.
yeah, that was a different problem. But like, I think it's the
I think electrical problems are the worst kind of problems because, is it barely making contact and it just vibrated enough so when you're trying to chase it, it's like, why is it working now? And then you like do something, it moves just enough where it's not making contact, and you're like, fuck.
I mean, I knew pretty much as soon as I opened up the seat, I was like, it's this. I'm just going to hotwire it.
well,
I really wish I had
Yeah,
my
because
Tesla.
you're going down a pitch black road and all of a sudden your lights go out. You're
Yeah.
like, oh,
And it's
hey.
a lot easier on the older bikes. The new bikes,
Yeah.
you don't really know.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I really don't like about the new bikes is they're taking the mechanical ability out of the mechanics that are working on them.
Yeah.
Because now everything's electronically controlled. It goes through this computer or that.
The CAN bus
computer.
thing.
Yeah.
Like when,
CAN bus,
Well, it's almost like they don't want you working on them. They
Pretty
want
much.
you
They're
to come
trying
in. Well, you come in, pay $150 shop rate plus overcharged parts, and your $40,000 CVO just became a little more expensive.
exactly.
And
yeah.
And nowadays, especially with like the key fobs and stuff, if your battery goes dead in your fob, your bike won't start. You gotta
Right.
remember some sort of special code to turn it off and stupid
Dr. Google
stuff.
to the rescue.
Yeah.
And then it's always like, is this the right way to do this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I like the older bikes because like my FJ, like it's 2017, so it's like pretty
Yeah.
fancy, and I'm like, this is a little extra because it's got like an OBD2 port on it, and I'm like, fuck, I don't want to deal with that. Like,
Yeah.
the KZP was nice, is like there's some stupid shit on it, but like, you can kind of figure it out. And I figured out how to jumper around a bunch of that shit the other day by accident. I was like, 12 volts goes to here and it makes it work. Cool.
that's like my shovel head. Most choppers, people whittle them down to as minimalistic wiring as possible.
Yep.
Mine's got 5 wires on it.
Have you seen those? It's not a Motec, but I have to think of the name of it, where it's the all-in-one computer. Mm-hmm. Have you used one of those yet?
I've done one up on a FXR a while back, and it was all right because everything's in that one main hub, but it can get kind of finicky because the connections on them is what I don't like. 'Cause they're like push-in connections.
Yeah.
It's not an actual
It's not a wired lug or anything like
it's
that.
not
Yeah.
a lug connection. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of possibility for issues with it.
I've been thinking about one, but then every time I look at how much they cost, I'm like, electrical tape all day, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, like I said, for most bikes, especially like a chopper, you can get them down to damn near nothing. Like mine's kick only, so I don't have any real electrical on it. So
Yeah.
I got a headlight and a tail light, and that's
it.
about all I need.
Do you have a phone
Nice.
charger on it?
No.
He just said.
I was just wondering if he's just like, I've got one USB power port and that's it.
It's got basically like a 9-volt battery in the
Yeah.
in the battery box.
He's
just
like,
for the first kick.
I don't want
Yeah.
anybody getting a hold of me.
Yeah, yeah. Are you when you're on trips? Depending on the bike, obviously you've got like. Do you still have the KTM? Did it sell?
No,
yet?
I sold it.
Oh, good. Congratulations. I knew it was kind of waiting. So are you more of a paper map guy like Bryan is? Because I know that's his big bag. He kind of remembers where, or do you do phone GPS and all that stuff?
I'll do it. I've got a pretty good memory when it comes to directions and getting places. So usually I'll look at it on the map on my phone,
Yeah.
and then I can retain
enough of it.
enough of it to get us there. But
Except when we're going in the Tulsa at the end of 66.
Yeah,
I was like, use your fucking phone on your fancy ass ST. He's like, you've got the map. You go.
you fucking go.
That was the best because I'm like, I can lead it, sure. And I'm like, looks like the metric guy's getting chased by a bunch of Harleys.
Yeah. But nah, usually I try to keep it minimalistic. So I will put headphones in. Most of my helmets have speakers in, so I
Yeah.
can listen to music. Like some guys like to listen to the road. I
Yeah,
like
fuck
having
that.
some music going on in the background.
I like having some music.
I've got too many demons in my head to be
Yeah.
sitting there alone on a motorcycle
You're,
for
you're
8
sitting here
hours.
riding, and it's like,
Pulling to the ditch, pulling to the ditch.
right into the telephone pole. You know,
I'm like-
or the dump truck's coming over, and it's
Yeah.
like, just whip out in front of it.
Start
You're
throwing
like-
rocks at that car with kids in it.
Do you have CV axle bearings in your pocket still? You should not have a windshield. Yeah.
I
I
just carry marbles in my tank bag for that specific reason.
her good buddy Bishop, that's what his dad did. He
Yeah,
had-
you just flip them up over your helmet.
Yep.
I guess-
right there, and then they don't have a windshielder. And they learned that day. They got an expensive lesson in not being a dickhead.
Scare the shit out of them.
Yeah. So what's your kind of favorite genre of music when you're on a trip? What are you thinking about? You know, K-pop?
Yeah, a lot of Taylor Swift and no.
Yeah.
I'm not joking when I was like, I bet that could be
Pink,
realistic.
Pink Pony or whatever that song is.
I had to ask the wife the other day. I was like, "What's this Pink Pony Club?" I keep seeing people saying shit, but I don't know what is it a song? And she's like, "Yeah." And then she played it. I was like, "Oh, I've heard this and I don't like it."
Yeah.
I don't like
Yeah,
it.
I'm good.
Nah, it's usually
Little George Michael.
I'll put it on.
Yeah, little
little, but nah,
father figure, you know. He left to go get milk.
nah. Usually I'll just put it on Pandora and put it on the
God damn.
just some metal
I
channels.
thought I was old.
Yeah,
Do you have Spotify?
I don't even know what that is.
Exactly.
Have you didn't listen to your episode, did you?
No,
Yeah, he's like, I was there. Why do I need to listen to it?
It's
Yeah.
surprising how many people will message back and be like, "I listened to my episode. It sounded pretty good." I'm like, "Oh man, I can't listen to our episode." I was there and I don't remember and I don't
Yeah.
really care.
I don't even answer voicemails. Why would I listen to it?
My fucking grandma called last night when we were out at the racetrack and I listened to the voicemail and it cut off because she's like 96. She doesn't understand how they work. I was like, I think she's okay. I'll call the wife.
Yeah, I still haven't figured out how to slam my smartphone, but
Oh, you can.
yeah.
You just got to have a budget for more smartphones. I want a flip phone. I like the walk-talkie one that they used to do where it was like the rugged one.
Go call Sam Wells. Yeah. Yeah. This is important when he answers, what?
what?
Where'd you get your phone? I need one.
Yeah,
1998. I was in the flea market. I bought 2 of them.
This is what you called me for?
but nah. Usually I'm listening to some form of metal or just a quick fast beat.
Yeah.
So, I'm not a big music buff like Bryan and them are.
I figured you more for Japanese punk rock.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I mean, I could
Yeah, I
definitely
can see
see it.
that.
Some
but-
baby metal.
Yeah, fucking, dude, they're so
They're
good.
not baby. They're not baby anymore.
Yeah, they're like old. Yeah. So just keep the episode quick and to the point for you guys. So, what kind of stuff are you wanting to do at the shop? What kind of business are you looking for?
I mean, we
Honda Gold Wings, clearly.
Yeah, no.
Remember the last episode?
We stick with Harley, so I mean that's what we're tooled up for. That's what we know,
Yeah.
and that's what we enjoy. I mean, I want to keep it to where it's something fun for me going up there. So
Right.
If I'm up there changing tires on scooters all day long, I'm not going to enjoy it. So
Yeah, Cody.
What the fuck? Potential GS12.
He said-
yeah,
He said Harley. So you're not allowed up there.
yeah,
It's how serious you were whenever I brought the KCP up and go, we don't work on cop bikes. And I'm like, and you were like, you can leave now. I was like, all right. I was like, I guess this is a really elaborate joke. It's really fucking funny. I laughed pretty hard. I was like, but
He's like,
but no, I mean we'll do tune and service on whatever. But I mean, for the most part, when it comes to building and stuff, we stick with Harley because
Yeah.
that's what we know. It's what we're tooled up for.
and then, so for the Harley stuff, you M8s, shovel heads, paint heads, what do you want to work on? Anything?
I personally like working on the old stuff because it's entertaining for me. But I mean, pretty much we'll do anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
nice.
we're not really doing a lot of motor work on M8s and stuff because
Yeah.
the tooling. But we pretty much twin cam and back. We've got
Okay.
everything you could need. So.
Yeah. So if you want to do cams in your twin cam,
Yeah.
or if
we
you
can
want
do
to,
M8 cams.
yeah.
Too, but
Okay.
As far as like motor machining and stuff, we don't have that capability.
And if you're going to build a twin cam, a big bore, and you're going to do, the piston retaining clips and all that stuff, you can definitely handle that.
Yeah, I won't drop them out into the cylinder.
That's good to know.
That's good to know.
Yeah. I wish I would have known that a few weeks ago.
You
Actually, all I wish I would have known is to put that T-shirt across that cylinder hole.
yeah.
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 Because I took it out when we spun the engine around. And I was like, oh, okay, let me do this. And I forgot to put it back in. And then, yeah.
Shit happens, dude.
So, and to be honest, I'm not 100% sure that ring is down in the bottom end. I am 100% sure that there is a magnet down in there when we were using to try to fish that one out.
Yeah.
And yeah.
I'm not above it. I've shot a ring across the shop a couple of times.
Yeah.
I have not.
So I get to open up and see my bottom end.
Yeah.
I'm like, we're cracking that whole fucking thing open.
Do you think he needs to go get a Man of War crank? Let's just go bully him into this.
We don't have Man of War crank money.
We don't have that kind of money.
Yeah,
The budget's not there.
I mean, cranks within spec when the run out was good on it.
Yeah, 12, 13 thousandths. That's fine. Yeah.
Yeah, makes it feel like a bicycle.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
A little weeble wobble.
Yeah.
In there.
Yeah, it never hurt anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so the Chop Shop party is going to be May 10th.
Yeah. This upcoming Saturday at
Yep.
5 p.m.
Yep.
Yep.
Check social media for
Pit bikes, bum fights, homeless hookers. We're going to have all the fun. And Nate on the glory hole.
Yeah, Nate's on the 1 and 2s.
We'll see what all pops up.
Right. And then let's see. So it's your social media for the Chop Shop is OKC.
Chop Shop 2.
Yeah, 2.
And then Bryan. OKC
See
Chop Shop Bryan.
And then if you are the motherfucker that took over the first fucking page and I find out who you are, I'm going to come over and give you a cookie before I give you a slap because I want that one now.
And if you have a Lexus or Silverado you're wanting to get rid of,
Don't call him.
call Shelby.
Call Shelby. Also, is the number on the Google page the right one to call?
Yes.
It's 405-600 something or other, right?
No.
Oh, can't remember.
405-808-8298.
There we go. Call that number. Get a hold of the
405
808
808
8298.
8298.
Call them and let them take care of your Harley stuff.
Yep.
When someone asks me about Harley service stuff, this is the shop I send everybody to.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I also, whenever someone goes, hey, can you work on my old Gold Wing? I'm like, yeah,
All
definitely.
these guys, too.
Yeah, call them. Call them and tell them I sent you specifically so they can tell you to fuck off and tell me to go fuck myself.
Specifically.
Yeah. All right. Well, we will probably come back on after the fact and then talk about how fucking insane this party is.
Yeah. We'll see how fun it is.
Yeah, it's going to be a good time.
It'll be a good time.
Yeah. Okay. Now
I'm excited about the bum fights. Haven't seen a good bum fight in years.
I bet it's going to happen now. You put it out there enough, it's going to fucking happen.
Now the bums are coming in hordes.
We're going to go round them up.
Yeah.
I was like, someone behind me? Okay. All right.
Yeah.
We'll talk to you guys next time. See you later. And then bye.
He's in trouble.
Bye.
Sheriff's here.